Do you believe in karmic retribution? Some debts that can't be settled in the world of the living, perhaps they continue to be settled in another. This story takes place in an office building near a train station. 8 floors, exterior clad in the cheap white tiles popular in the 1990s, now fallen off in patches, exposing the dark concrete beneath. The building had been an unfinished project for years. The local elderly knew why. During the Qing dynasty, this area was an execution ground. On overcast days, they take detours saying the killing energy is too heavy. A new investor took over. The rent was absurdly low, a quarter of similar buildings. Mr. Lee's boss, flush from a cryptocurrency windfall, rented the entire 6th floor. At the time, only 3 companies occupied the building. The 2nd floor housed an accounting firm. The 6th floor was Mr. Lee's engineering company. Among the empty shop fronts on the 1st floor was a building material shop, where an earlier tragedy had struck. The owner hired workers for a cheap shed. An apprentice fell from the scaffolding and died, leaving a wife and young child at home. The owner paid nothing. Mr. Lee first noticed the mother and daughter about a week after moving in. They sat on the steps outside the building materials shop, the dead apprentice's wife and their little girl, barely 4 or 5. The mother, in a faded red cotton jacket and red pants, hair tied back but messy. Her skin was rough and dark, her eyes red and swollen, but the tears had dried, replaced by silent persistence. The daughter, in a bright red dress, small face smudged, clutching her mother's sleeve. Too young to understand death, she sat beside her mother in innocent confusion. Mr. Lee asked around. The shop owner owed the husband wages, over 30,000 yuan. The husband had a work accident, a crushed leg, months in a hospital bed, family savings drained. They'd come every day for 2 weeks begging for the money. The owner never came in person. He hid in his office behind a glass door, drinking Longjing tea, cracking sunflower seeds, legs crossed, watching them. He watched them bake under the sun and shiver in the wind, then cracked another seed and sipped his hot tea, the corner of his mouth holding a faint smile. Mr. Lee bought them food, crackers, bread, milk, bottled water, lollipops. He set the bag gently beside them and left. This went on for about a week. Then one day, they were gone. Mr. Lee figured they'd given up. At the office, the news hit him. The mother and daughter jumped off the building. His briefcase dropped. He learned the details. Around 4 a.m., the mother had carried her sleeping daughter to the rooftop, both wearing red. Red is the most vicious color in Chinese folklore. Suicide in red means becoming a vengeful ghost, the most powerful kind, the hardest to subdue. Mr. Lee stood at the window a long time, staring at the building materials shop below. The glass door was shut. No one inside. The gold chain owner had gone on vacation the day before. The first strange thing happened 3 days later, but first, the surveillance footage. At 4:17 a.m., the elevator opened on the 6th floor. 2 figures emerged, an adult holding a child's hand, both in blood red. They floated down the corridor to the company entrance and stood before the bronze Guanggong statue, motionless for 20 minutes, staring at its furious eyes as if locked in a silent standoff. Then they turned in perfect synchronization and vanished into the fire stairs. Mr. Lee's apprentice went to the men's restroom. A few minutes later, the entire office heard him screaming. They rushed in. There he was, trapped inside a stall. The stall door wouldn't open. He'd been locked inside for 20 minutes. No latch, no lock, just a simple swing door. Yet it wouldn't budge. The door wasn't stuck. It felt like someone on the outside was pressing against it with their full body weight, but there was no one there. Eventually, the boss kicked the door open. The apprentice didn't go to that bathroom again. 1 week later, the head 7, the 7th day after death, when spirits are said to return. That night, Mr. Lee worked overtime alone. Around midnight, he clearly heard the men's restroom urinal flush. Whoosh. Infrared sensor, automatically flushing after use. Someone had used it, but he was alone. Everyone else had gone home hours ago. He told himself it was plumbing, kept typing. Then he heard water running in the women's restroom, then the men's again, a urinal flushing, then minutes later, another. Like an invisible person was pacing between the two bathrooms, using the facilities, flushing one after another. He grabbed his phone and called the night security guard. The guard came up. They searched every corner of the restrooms together. Nothing. The guard, a man in his 50s, left quickly, face pale. Mr. Lee decided to leave. No more overtime tonight. He locked the office, walked to the elevator, pressed the button. The doors opened. He stepped in, pressed 1. The doors closed. Floor 6, floor 5, floor 4, floor 3, floor 2. Then, the elevator stopped. The doors opened. The display showed 8. There was no 8th floor button in this elevator. The building had only 8 floors above ground, 1 through 8, but there was no button for 8. The elevator panel went 1 through 7, then stopped. The 8th floor was a mechanical level, filled with ceiling-high equipment, completely windowless. No one went there. The fire escape door to the 8th floor was always locked, but the elevator doors had opened, and there it was, a dark corridor, no lights, a faint, indescribable odor. The doors stayed open, longer than normal, as if waiting for someone to step out, or step in. Mr. Lee hammered the closed door button. Nothing. The doors remained open. He pressed 1, pressed every button. Nothing. The elevator simply refused to move. Then he heard it, a rhythmic swaying sound from deep in the corridor. Creak, 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 like something suspended, swaying. And footsteps, very light, like a child's small feet, coming from far away, getting closer. The sound stopped, right outside the elevator doors. He saw nothing, but he felt it. Something had entered the elevator. The air temperature plummeted. Goosebumps erupted down his spine. The doors finally closed. The elevator began descending on its own. Not to floor 1. It stopped at floor 8 again. The doors opened onto the same dark corridor, then closed, descended, stopped at floor 8. Again and again, an endless loop. Eventually it stopped at what showed as floor 1, but the doors opened onto the same 8th floor corridor. There was no exit. Mr. Lee bolted out of the elevator into the corridor, running by feel. He found the fire escape stairwell. The door was locked from the inside. Because of the suicide, the property management had chained it shut. He was trapped on the 8th floor. Hours passed. He sat curled in the stairwell corner. Through a small window, moonlight fractured through dirty glass. In those fractured beams, he kept seeing 2 silhouettes, an adult figure holding a child's hand, both in red, standing at the very edge, then slowly turning toward him, reaching out their hands, not seeking help, beckoning him. He pressed his eyes shut, didn't dare open them until dawn. When the first grey morning light came, he crawled to the window and screamed hoarsely, "Help! I'm on the 8th floor!" His apprentice found him, curled in the corner, hair a wild mess, dark bags under his eyes, lips cracked and bleeding. Shaking, he roared at the property manager. Why did that elevator come to the 8th floor by itself? The boss took one look at Mr. Lee's ashen face and knew. He called a feng shui master. The master arrived, walked the building once and said, "This place sits on an execution ground, killing energy already heavy. And a mother and daughter in red, jumping to their deaths with unresolved grievance. That's the most vicious, vengeful ghost formation. I can set up protective arrays to keep them out, but truly subduing red-dressed vengeful ghosts, to be honest, my abilities aren't enough. The most I can do is buy time." He gave instructions: seal the men's and women's restrooms with red bricks, hang a Bagua mirror at the main entrance, place a Guanggong statue at every company's door, and pay respects on every 1st and 15th of the lunar month. The company followed every instruction. The restrooms were bricked up. Everyone now had to use the public restroom on the 1st floor. The boss moved his Guanggong statue from his office to the main entrance. Afterward, things quieted down. But late at night, security guards still sometimes heard sounds from those sealed restrooms: running water, a woman's faint sobbing, a child calling out. They never investigated. Mr. Lee never fully recovered. He came down with a 40-degree fever, burning deliriously for a week. He developed severe elevator claustrophobia and quit within the year. And the building materials shop owner? After the incident, his business plummeted, his warehouse caught fire, and his wife fell seriously ill. He lost over 700,000 yuan. His family fortune essentially wiped out. Compared to 2 innocent lives lost and a family destroyed, this price was far too small. That sliver of justice the mother and daughter bought with their deaths arrived far too late. The most terrifying thing in this world has never been ghosts. It's the coldness of the human heart.